Hello and welcome to episode 70 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for connecting with me this week. I heard from so many of you about how Namaste Yoga is affecting you in your day-to-day life. It's so great to hear from you. You can always email me at info@melissawest.com, or you can like us on Facebook and leave your comments on the Namaste Yoga wall there. It would be great to hear from you. This week, we're finishing up our series of classes on the chakras and their archetypes. So today, we are at the crown chakra, and we're working with the archetype of your higher self. So why don't you go ahead and rest back, lie down on your back. If your low back is bothering you at all, do bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. And just give yourself a chance to settle in and transition from the busyness of your day-to-day life into the one-pointed focus of our practice today on our crown chakra and our higher selves. So this chakra and archetype has to do with beauty, spirituality, and our connection with our divine source. It opens us to the light of our spirit, which is eternally connected to the source. Our higher self embraces us with its healing and protective light. When we are open to receiving love and wisdom from our higher self, we are filled with the energy of the divine, and it guides us and inspires us in all that we do. When we connect with the archetype of our higher self, we acknowledge the divine source and know that all good things come from the source and this space of connecting to our higher self. Our higher self knows we are all aspects of the divine. And to connect with our higher self is to permit our spirit to shine with joy and radiance in the world. When we are not living from our ego identification, we begin to live from our higher self. Our higher self taps us into the joy and bliss of our spirit. We become one with our source, and we are whole and complete. The characteristics of our higher self are oneness, acceptance, love of ourself, and experience is the grace of one's divine nature. When we connect with our higher selves, we live with compassion and light, and are one with the whole of life. Our higher self is not after external power and knows that the real power comes from being one's own self. And I have this quote from Ambika Waters: "Accepting oneself fully with total love and gratitude is an act of surrender to all that one is. It means we are greater than our limitations, more creative than our imagination, and more powerful than anything around us. When we know it is our heart that the purpose of life is to manifest spirit, we are free to be ourselves." So I firmly believe that we don't need to sit at a guru's feet to find all the answers. All the answers we need are within ourselves, and when we connect with our higher self, we are divinely guided. So we can go inside and experience our own wisdom, our own wonder, and our own delight. Any good teacher or guru will give you the opportunity to experience your true self. You can't get answers that are outside of you, only connecting to your inside. So we're going to start still lying down here, resting back, and I'm going to ask you to place your hands on your belly. And just feel your breath in your belly here. So breath practice is one way to connect with our spirit. The words inhale and exhale have the root hail. And hail means whole or heal. And taking a breath in is often called inspiration. And this is connecting with our spirit. The word spirit is at the root of inspiration. So now take your hands and move them up to your rib cage. And I like to wrap my hands around me as though I'm embracing myself. And my palms are resting to the outside of my rib cage. And then I can feel breath movement here. And then move your hands up to your heart center. Place your hands on your chest. And feel breath movement at your chest. And then rest your hands down by the side of your body again. We're going to do 3-part breathing. So the way that 3-part breathing works is you're going to breathe into your belly, pause. You'll breathe into your rib cage and pause. Then you'll breathe into your upper chest, pause and be full of air. And then it will be one long smooth exhalation. So when you do this breath, I just want you to check in and become your own best teacher right now and check in and see if breath retention is something that's safe for you in your body. So if you have any health conditions that preclude you from holding your breath, then just keep your breath continuous. So let's begin with a normal breath in and a normal breath out. And then breathe in belly, pause, breathe in rib cage, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause and be full of air, and then exhale. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause and be full of air, and then let your breath leave your body. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause, and exhale. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause, and exhale fully. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause, and exhale. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause, and exhale. Breathe in belly, pause, breathe in ribs, pause, breathe in upper chest, pause, And exhale. Breathe in belly. Pause. Breathe in ribs. Pause. Breathe in upper chest. Pause. And exhale. Breathe in belly. Pause. Breathe in ribs. Pause. Breathe in upper chest. Pause. And breathe out. Breathe in belly. Pause. Breathe in ribs. Pause. Breathe in upper chest. Pause. And exhale. And then return to normal breathing. And just check in with all the layers of your being. Notice your physical body. What's happening with your breath. Tune into your mind and your emotions. And see if that connection to your higher self isn't a bit stronger now. Okay, so we're going to continue with this breath in a posture. So all the yoga books and chakra books that I have all say that when you work with the crown chakra, it should be meditation only, that there are no yoga postures associated with the crown chakra. So I actually disagree with this pretty strongly, because if you read the Bhagavadgita, the premise behind the Bhagavadgita is that all action can be in service to our spirit, and that any action we take is fulfilling our dharma. And so when we do our yoga can become a spiritual practice. It has to do with our intention. And so my intention for today's practice is to keep our yoga, to keep the asanas, the physical postures, connected to spirit. And we'll be doing this by working with individual archetypes in each of the postures as it relates to our higher self. So let's begin with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, resting back. And you're going to stay with this breath practice of 3-part breathing. So what you're going to do is inhale, lift a little bit. Inhale, lift your arms and pelvis a little bit more. Inhale, lift all the way up, bring your arms overhead. And then you'll exhale and lower down. So inhale, lift a bit. Inhale a little bit more. Inhale fully into the posture. And exhale and lower down. And just continue with this movement here. So as you do this, become conscious of the fact that you're doing a pose called bridge pose. So this pose, think about what a bridge means to you. For me, a bridge is something that connects two parts. And so because it makes connections, it's very yogic to me. And so we can practice this posture in a way that connects us with our higher self. And then the next time you lower it down, Hug your knees into your chest. Okay, from here you can either rock yourself up or roll to your side and come up onto all fours. So on all fours we're going to do cat pose. You're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And exhale, round up through your back. And then inhale and arch your back. And so see if you can be engrossed in what you're doing so that all your attention is pointed in a single point of focus to the movement in your body. And think about cats. Cats can be very curious creatures. And so see if you can become curious about what it's like to move your spine in this way. Become curious about all the nooks and crannies. And really stay connected with what's happening in your body. So a lot of times I think we focus too much on our outer alignment in yoga at the expense of losing our inner alignment. So our inner alignment just means that we're focusing on what's happening now. And we're connecting breath and movement. We're breathing in the postures. And then we're going to do thread the needle. So take your right arm up, open it out to the side, and then bring your right arm through. Rest your right shoulder and the right side of your head. And become very conscious of the fact that you're doing a pose called thread the needle. Your right arm is threading through the hole of your needle, the space between your left hand and your left knee. And then slowly rotate yourself out of this posture. And we'll do it on the other side. So inhale, open your arm out to the other side. Bring your left arm through. Rest your left side of your head. And your left shoulder on the ground. And so let's consider the metaphor of threading the needle. When you thread the needle, it's usually to start something, to sew something together. So again, another very yogic philosophy in this posture. It's this idea of connection and unifying things. So when you sew things, for example, if you're sewing a quilt, you take parts and you make them into a whole. And so this just fits so nicely with the theory of oneness in yoga, that all things are connected. There is no separation. And I love this idea in Thread the Needle that normally when I thread a needle, it's to mend something. So maybe something that is no longer whole, I'm going to return it to wholeness by mending it. And so this idea that you can mend things too back to wholeness is just, to me, this most beautiful metaphor. Okay, and then Slowly come out of this posture. And we're going to do lunge pose. So step your left leg through for lunge. And just check in with the spot that you've come to and see if it's working well for you in your body right now. So have you chosen that just right edge, that place where it's not too much, not too little, but it's just right so that you can hang out and explore and discover something about yourself right now. So there should be ease and steadiness in every pose. And then shift your weight back and bring your other foot forward into lunge pose on the other side. And notice the differences without judgment, without making one worse or better, just different on both sides. And then you're going to step back, and I want you to come into the most delicious downward facing dog stretch you've ever taken. So imagine, I'm sure you've all seen dogs come out of their naps, and imagine you're like your dog coming out of your nap. Lift your sit bones up towards your ceiling and come into that really deep, nice stretch. And really lengthen through your spine so your knees can be bent here and your heels can be lifted off the ground, to get that length through your spine here. So the yogis created yoga postures by watching nature, animals, and tools. And so you can learn from your own dogs when you watch them stretch out how downward facing dog should be. And then make your way up to standing. From standing, place your feet underneath your hip bones, your iliac crest, spread your toes. Make the inner edges of your feet parallel. Knees face front. Sit bones reach down towards your ankles and your spine lengthens up. And then bring your hands into prayer position at your heart. And close your eyes and bow your head symbolically to your hands. So when we come to standing equal balance like this with our hands at our heart, it roots our intention in our heart. And so you may recall your intention for your practice today. And I'm not entirely sure I asked you to set an intention. So if you didn't already, set an intention for your practice right now for what you would like to receive today. How could your yoga practice best serve you in your life right now? So connecting to our heart, we connect to our heart's desire. And we come home to our true self, capital T and capital S. And then release your hands and bring your hands down by the side of your body. Turn your palms out and inhale. Arc your arms around you. And then exhale and arc your arms down. So we're doing this to draw the shape of the sun around us, to allow ourselves to be illumined by the light of the sun. The sun is considered the male aspect of the divine. Very powerful and illuminating. So breathe as you trace the sun and allow it to fill you with light. One more like that. Okay, so just take a deep breath in, close your eyes and turn inward and see how drawing the shape of the sun around you has affected you. Notice your internal body, your breath, your thoughts, your spirit. And then take a deep breath in and let it fall out of your mouth and open your eyes. We're going to now take the shape of the moon. So the moon is more the feminine aspect of the divine. You're going to inhale, take your arms straight up overhead. Interlace your fingers. You can take the steeple mudra and then lengthen down through your left leg until you're really long on the whole left side of your body and bend your body to the right. So imagine you're taking the shape of a crescent moon right now. So the moon has a very different quality than the sun. The moon reflects the light of the sun. So a more reflective and receptive quality to the divine feminine energy. And then inhale back center. Lengthen long through your right leg and the whole right side of your body, and then bend your body over to your left. So the moon asks us to bring light to our shadow side. So just as the moon reflects the light of the sun, bringing light to the darkness, we bring light to our darkness, to the things that we would rather keep in the shadows. And then inhale, back up center again. Exhale, slowly lower your arms. And then take your legs wide on your mat. And what you're going to do here is lengthen up long through your spine, root down through your legs, and especially the outside edges of your feet. Roll your pelvis over your leg bones, lifting and spreading your sit bones behind you. And come into a wide-legged standing forward fold. So forward folds are also very symbolic and divine postures that allow us to connect to our higher self. In forward bends, we practice surrendering. So we let go, we let our head rest below our heart. So we're no longer being led around by our head. Bringing acceptance to what is. And when we come to this place of acceptance and surrender, then we're able to hear the guidance and feel the support of our higher self. Now place your right palm on the ground. You're going to open your heart up to the side and bring your left arm straight up. So this pose is called windmill pose. And windmills are about transforming energy, transforming wind into energy. And in this pose, we create a transformation in that standing forward bend. We open our hearts. And we open to receive. And then bring your left hand down. Place your left hand on the ground. Rotate your heart open to the other side. Bring your right arm up. And open to spread love. And then come back into that forward fold. Surrendering once again, letting go of our ego mind, bringing that love and acceptance into our hearts. Okay, and then you can come to a kneeling position. So we're going to practice yoga mudra now. Yoga mudra is a pose of surrender and letting go. And so there are two ways to come into this posture. One is to interlace your fingers behind your back here and then come into a child's pose. You'll place your forehead on the ground, roll onto the top of your head by lifting your pelvis off your lower legs, and then lift your arms up. Okay, that's one way of coming into this posture. Of course, you want to be very careful if you have any neck issues here. You can, maybe it's not a pose for everybody. If that's the case, if putting weight on the top of your head is not good for your neck, then you could take this pose by just taking child's pose and lifting your arms. Okay, the other way you can come into this posture is to come onto all fours and drop your crown of your head so the back of your neck is long. Place the crown of your head on the ground. Roll your shoulders back and up. Interlace your fingers and lift your arms. So in this pose, you want the back of your neck to be straight and long. And your crown of your head is going to be sensitive. Keep losing my hands today. So in this pose, we bow to our divine self. We let go of our egoic fears. We symbolically lower our head below our heart. Okay. And then slowly and carefully find your way out of this posture. And make your way down onto lying on the ground on your belly. Okay. So when you come down onto your belly, just wiggle your hips from side to side a little bit. Release any low back tightness. We took a long walk in the forest yesterday, and I think my low back is feeling that today. A little tight in my low back from all the walking we did yesterday. Okay, we're going to set our legs up. I've been working with, this is one of my favorite poses, Cobra, and I've been working with setting up my legs so that my low back stays even longer. So what I've been doing is tucking my right toes under, lift my knee, and then you can extend through your right leg. That was nice. I got a nice spinal adjustment through that. And then do the same thing on your left side. Lift your left leg, open up through your front left hip, and then place your leg down again. And you'll probably find that there's more space in your low back, that your heels are rolling out a little bit more, and just that there's more movement and less compression in your low back here. Then you're going to press the front of your pelvis into the ground, roll your shoulders back and up. Elbows are going to be alongside your body. And what we're going to do is inhale and lift up. And then exhale and lower down. So moving with breath, a moving meditation here. And so in this pose, you're rising up out of the material world, symbolically into the spiritual world. This takes courage and strength. And so we lift and open our heart of courage here. Shoulders down away from your ears. Low back stays long. Let's do one more. Lower yourself down, wiggle your hips. And come up and back into child's pose. Child's pose with your knees open to make space for your body. And fold forward here. Okay, so if this position is uncomfortable for your knees, you can always lie on your back with your knees to your chest. So in child's pose, or if you're lying on your back with your knees to your chest, we take on the symbolic pose of the fetal position. And so it's reminiscent of being in your mother's womb when all things were connected. And you had that experience of oneness continuously. And so as we grow and become adults, we experience more separation. And by coming back to the position of the child pose, we can remember what it was like to be connected. Okay, so slowly make your way up to sitting. And we're going to work with cow's face pose now. So you may need a block for this pose. I'm just going to grab a block. Okay. This can be good if your hips aren't too open. The way you're going to work this is cross your left leg in front of your right leg and then open your feet. So you can place the block down between your two legs and sit on that. That's an option here. Or, depending on the openness of your hips, you can sit all the way down. Ooh, hips are a little tight today. Okay, so in Indian culture, cows are sacred. They're a symbol of the Divine Mother. They're known as sustainers and nurturers and comforters. And when I've been sitting in this pose this week, I've been working with imagining and contemplating, meditating on a cow. I want to show you a great picture of a cow. This is from Colleen Patrick Goudreau's new book, The Vegan's Daily Companion, which I highly recommend. We can get a close-up of the picture of the sweet cow on the top corner of this book. That would be amazing. And you can see here how sweet and gentle and docile cows really are. So as you sit in this pose, just close your eyes and meditate on the sweet, compassionate, and giving nature of cows. Okay, and twist to one side. Doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both. And twist to the other side. And then come back center And root your sit bones down and fold forward. And then slowly come up. Release your legs in front of you. Slowly coming out. Wiggle your hips and your legs. And then this time, cross your left leg over your right leg. Sorry, I said that wrong. Right over left this time. Left up to your sit bones, and remember you can sit on the block in the center and just close your eyes and meditate on the peaceful qualities of the cow. And then turn one way. And the other. And then coming back center with a long spine, folding forward. Notice what's happening with your breath. And then slowly come up and very slowly come out of the pose, releasing your legs. Wiggle your hips, shake your legs out. And then choose a comfortable sitting position for meditation. So today for you, that might be sitting in a chair. That might be sitting with your back to the wall. So remember, every day is different, and connecting to our higher self means tuning inward and listening to and honoring our own bodies so that we're sitting in a way that is non-harmful, ahimsa, non-violent, to our own bodies even. So today I'm going to sit kneeling with the block between my legs. This is one of my favorite ways of sitting. It feels really good and easy in my body. And then we're going to sit with a mudra today. You're going to place your left hand on top of your right hand and bring the tips of your thumbs together. So this is a classic mudra position for meditation. It's called the dhyana mudra. So you take that position and close your eyes. And let your attention rest on your breathing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this mudra as you sit here. So as you sit with this mudra, you allow yourself to be completely passive, allowing the divine force to act within you and for you. So your two hands form a bowl in this posture to show that you are inwardly free, pure, and empty in order to receive everything that you need on your spiritual path. Since there is no empty space in the universe, everything that appears empty to us is full of subtle energy. This void will become filled with new energy, and our thoughts and feelings determine the quality. Slowly open your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow again to your intention. And consider how you can bring your yoga with you off the mat today. This connection with your higher self. Bringing it with you out into your world. So that all actions can be in service to the divine. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.